Welcome to my views and news. Some news stories for you. Firstly, Tigray interim president is in Amhara region. These minutes, Getachew Reda arrived in Bahidar a few hours ago. What is being discussed? Of course, it's a big development because Getachew was under pressure that he should not visit Amhara region before resolution of dispute regarding future status of Raya and Volkait. Amhara regional president also had to think twice before before inviting Getachew, because we are seeing a resistance anti-government movement in the Amhara region. So what is being discussed? Secondly, Ethiopian airlines have a new board of chairman. Yesterday, it was shared by some news outlets that Yilma Mardasa, Ethiopian air chief, has been appointed chairman of the board of Ethiopian Airlines. Today it was confirmed. Question is, why was Girma Vake replaced? Where is Girma Vake now? It is being alleged by some sources that Girma has been removed because there was disagreement between Girma and the government about appointment of CEO of Ethiopian Airlines. Thirdly, talks between Oromo Liberation Army and Ethiopian government. Will second round start, or the talks have completely collapsed? Details for you. Fourthly, Eritrean opposition groups symposium ongoing in Washington, 3-day long events there. Organized by Global Yiakl. We have a video for you. And lastly, fighting resumed in Sudan after a successful 24-hour ceasefire, which came to an end at 6 a.m. local time on Sunday. Fighting resumed. Just a few minutes ago, we got a confirmation from a bridge which links Bahri with Darman, that two sides are fighting for the control of this bridge. Intense fighting ongoing. A clip is also being shared from the vicinity of this bridge. Apart from this development about Sudan war, Al-Burhan spoke about Turkish role in mediation between military, Sudanese military and rapid support forces. Firstly, viewers, Tigray interim president Getachew Reda arrived in Bahidar today. A few weeks ago, all regional presidents visited Tigray. Before that visit, PM Abiy announced that all regional presidents would visit Tigray and that talks would start between Ethiopian government and OLA. We saw that Amhara region's president Yilkal Kifale was also one of those presidents, regional presidents who visited Tigray back then. Now a reciprocatory visit from Getachew Reda. Getachew Reda arrived in Bahidar. I could not see Tigray's military leaders as part of Getachew's delegation. Mostly wherever Getachew goes, Sadkan is with him. Tadassa Varade accompanies him too. But in Amhara region, I could not, when I saw the pictures of the visit, I could not see Tigray's military commanders. I only saw Professor Kindeya and some other government officials. No Sadkan, no Varade, it seems. They were deliberately kept out of the panel of out of this delegation, I think. Question is, what is being discussed? Well, the two sides have held, the two presidents have held a joint press briefing, Yiakl and Getachew, and they acknowledged that there are issues. But issues, they said, are not bigger than the people of the Tigray and Amhara regions. They said issues can be resolved through dialogue, through negotiations. They spoke about trade, transport, people-to-people contact. So it means we could see start of trade relations between Tigray and Amhara regions. We could see resumption of transport services through Amhara to Tigray from other parts of Ethiopia. This transport link was restored. Then a few days ago, when a conflict intensified in a North Shore zone of the Amhara region between Ethiopian military and Fano fighters, we saw that transport from Addis Ababa to Mekelle was diverted from the Amhara region, and it started using a route through Afar. It was due to unrest in North Shore zone, mainly reportedly, and to some extent in Wollo, but mainly unrest was in North Shore zone. Today's talks are not about Volkite. This visit is not about Braya. These are thorny issues, difficult to handle. This is just a reciprocatory visit from Getachew. And I think all should welcome. If the two presidents can sit, if the two delegations can sit, they can find a solution as well. But if they don't sit at the table, misunderstandings increase. That is why this step by Getachew to visit Amhara region should be welcomed. Of course, after this visit, we'll see a campaign against both presidents. Getachew will face pressure by some disgruntled TPLF elements who would say that people are suffering, IDP is suffering, and Getachew is meeting Amhara leadership. Amhara hardliners would say that Yiakl is not sincere with Amhara people. He might hand over Brian Volkite to Tigray. So we could see start of these speculations in coming days. Overall, it's a very positive development that the two presidents sat together and talked to the media. Secondly, viewers, it has almost been confirmed now that Ethiopian Airlines has a new chairman of the board. Ethiopian Airlines was led by Tewelde Gebremariam for years, Tigrayan. He was removed. When Tigrayans were removed from top positions, war broke out, Tigrayans were removed. He was removed to, after Tigray, I think he was removed after the second round of fighting. Last year he was removed from his position. Girma Wakke was appointed as the new board chairman. Now Girma fired, reportedly. Yilma Mirdasa is the new board chairman of Ethiopian Airlines. Yilma is the head of Ethiopian Air Force. Is this an additional responsibility, or is this a new task that he is no more Ethiopian Air Force chief? It's not clear, but his appointment as Ethiopian Airline board chairman is being confirmed by pro-Ethiopian government activists. Next question is, why was Girma Wakke removed? Now, no official statement, but rumors going around that there was disagreement between Germawake and the government about CEO of the Ethiopian Airlines. CEO of Ethiopian Airlines is Mesfantasio, who is an Amhara, and reportedly government wanted to appoint Lima Yadicha as the new CEO. Germawake refused, and then government fired him, and Yilmaz Dasa is now the new airlines chief. That is what is being rumored. Government has not said anything. We're waiting for official confirmation, since mostly it is being confirmed by government-backed activists that Yilmaz is the new Ethiopian Airlines chief. That is why it seems that Germawake is no more the board chairman of Ethiopian Airlines. Thirdly, we have talks between the OLA Oromo Liberation Army and Ethiopian government were held in Tanzania, Zanzibar, more than 3 weeks ago. First round of talks was held for more than a week. The two sides could not reach any agreement, any understanding, and the two sides returned. OLA was represented mainly from diaspora. Ethiopian government represented by Gideon Timotheus, Minister of Justice, and Ridwan, advisor to the PM, National Security Advisor. And after that, we saw a resumption of fighting in Oromo. OLA fighters attacked several police stations. They released their comrades. And in Horogodoro, they attacked some sugar factories too. Government also mobilized its troops. So it was being feared that the peace process could completely collapse. Now, reportedly, talks could resume. It was indirectly confirmed by Ethiopian government yesterday. Ethiopian government spokesperson Lagasse Tolo held a press briefing yesterday, and he said the peace process in Oromia would continue. So it means he indirectly confirmed that second round of talks would start. When? Did not share any details of schedule. But it means that talks did not collapse completely. There are still hopes of resumption of peace talks. Though the issues, I think the issues which were raised by OLA are the issues which would require the participation of several stakeholders to find a solution. Oromo Federalist Congress, a political party led by Amira Godina, showed its intent to be part of negotiations too. We heard that OLA suggested there should be a transitional government in Oromia, some say in Valaga. OLA raised the issue of right to self-determination, status of Addis Ababa, federal languages, etc. All these issues cannot be decided by just Ridwan and some diaspora Oromo members. Need participation of other stakeholders too. That is why maybe second round of talks delayed. But overall, a good news that Ethiopian government is confirming that it is ready and it will press ahead with a peace process in Oromia. Fourthly, viewers, Eritrea, an Eritrean opposition group, is organizing a 3-day long event in Washington, D.C. From the US and Canada, Eritrean opposition groups are participating. A concert, public discussion. Some artists are performing too. Community is being involved. Yesterday there was a panel discussion. Global Yiakl is the name of the organization. Erisat, it broadcast the public discussion, panel discussion, which was held yesterday. Erisat, Global Yiakl, and some other Eritrean opposition groups are attending this opposition gathering in Washington. I have a clip for you. Before that, Eritrean opposition is mainly based in Europe and US. It has been based in Ethiopia too in the past. When TPLF was in power, Eritrean opposition groups were backed by EPRDF. They were armed too, just like Eritrea was arming Oromo fighters, Tigray fighters. But now, if any Eritrean opposition groups are of significance, they are based in US or they are based in Europe. Armed groups which were based in Eritrean neighborhood are not in a position now to be a threat to Eritrean government. Eritrean opposition groups based in US and Europe, they're not united. They don't know how to continue this struggle. These Eritrean opposition groups have very limited options. They can stay in touch with diplomatic community. They can convince people, Eritrea, that Eritreans should not send remittances to Eritrea. They can tell the people, the youth, the new generation, that there must be change, democratic change in Eritrea. But their actions in the US, in Europe, failed in the past to register any impact on what is happening in Eritrea. I think opposition will have to join hands and agree on some basic principles or on some basic framework for this struggle. Otherwise, this is just community events. People meet each other, they have fun, they talk, they dance, they sing, they leave. That is what has been happening. Watch a clip from Washington, D.C. of Global Yiakl's event. Lastly, with Sudan, where fighting resumed, unfortunately, after a very successful 24-hour ceasefire. Fighting resumed. 2 hours ago, we got confirmation from a place which is on Bahri-Umedurman border. Ceasefire came to an end this morning at 6 a.m. local time. No extension so far. I'm recording this video. Extension was expected, no extension so far. And after ceasefire came to an end, the two sides fought for the control of Halfayal Maluk Bridge. Halfayal Maluk Bridge links Bahri with Umedurman, River Nile Bridge. And eastern part of this bridge has been under RSF control for around 2 weeks. Before that, Sudanese army was in full control of both sides of the bridge. But Rapid Support Force members, they took control of eastern side of the bridge. They entered Half el-Maluk town and they went towards Al-Qadro too. And then they tried to move towards Was Sayyidina base too. So eastern part was under RSF control. RSF tried to block the bridge too by putting something on the bridge. Sudanese army was in control of western part of the bridge on Durman side. But an hour ago, we received reports from the area that fighting resumed. Some say that Rapid Support Force members tried to take western part of the bridge. Sudanese army launched a counter-attack. Some others say Sudanese army launched an attack to take back eastern side of the bridge on Bahri side, and some sources are reporting that Sudanese military managed to take control of eastern side of the bridge. It means Sudanese military has entered Bahri from Durman through this bridge. And some go to the extent of claiming that Sudanese military has managed to take large areas from Half el-Maluk towards Al-Qadro. It's difficult to confirm. A video is being shared of Sudanese soldiers from the bridge. People can be seen cheering Sudanese army soldiers. So only confirmation is that intense fighting for the control of Half el-Maluk bridge resumed today. Secondly, Al-Burhan is ready for a Turkish role in mediation to resolve Sudanese conflict. He welcomed any Turkish role. Turkey offered to mediate, by the way, a few weeks ago. Turkish officials contacted both the parties. PMRB also offered to visit Khartoum 2 days ago when he held a meeting with Malik Agar. But so far we have seen that main mediators are Saudi Arabia and US, which managed to implement a very effective 24-hour-long ceasefire. IGAD starting a meeting tomorrow in Djibouti with involvement of UN, EU diplomats too. Let's see what happens. So far, Al-Burhan is ready. I think Al-Burhan is not happy with Arab and American intervention. Some Arab countries like Saudi Arabia, UAE are seen by Sudanese military as supporters of Rapid Support Forces. But then why are Sudanese army representatives part of talks in Jeddah? Because Sudanese army cannot outrightly refuse. This refusal can cost the military, it can cost economy. US already announced to sanction the two entities, the two sides. Two entities of Sudanese army, two entities of Rapid Support. They were sanctioned by American government. And then American government announced to impose visa restrictions on the leaders of two sides. That is why military does not want to say no to the US and to Arab countries like Saudi Arabia. But it wants African countries and Turkey to be major players in negotiations, in mediation between Sudanese military and Rapid Support Forces. Thank you for watching.